Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are reviewing Turning Red on Disney+. Apologies if I do say any of these names wrong. I'm not great with names. I will try my best. It is directed by Domee Shi and starring Rosalie Chiang, Sandra Oh and Maitreyi Ramakrishnan. I think I nailed that. Turning Red is yet another animated Disney Plus exclusive. It tells the story of Mei Lee. She is a 13-year-old Asian girl growing up in America, and she's struggling to find herself and step out from underneath her overbearing mother. And just to add to the problem, she also turns into a giant red panda anytime her emotions get a little bit ahead of herself. Before we go any further though, could you be a dear? Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really does help me and the channel massively, and we thank you if you do. Also, could you follow us on Instagram? You will be getting access to further content, tournaments and polls, and you get to choose what I review. The animation is incredibly strong, as expected, but it still impressed me, especially in small details, things like eyes and where they watch and what they look at and where they go. It was so advanced and clever. There weren't many beats missed in the animation. There's plenty of good colour and themes to the movie as well. I do think the kids are going to enjoy it for what it is. And if I'm being brutally honest, that's kind of where the pros ended for me. Ouch. I was really trying to not be brutal about this movie because it clearly isn't for me. I'm not a 13-year-old girl. This isn't going to be setting out its stall for me to be pleased. So I try to bear that in mind and not be brutal about this, but there are some things about this movie that I just can't help but be brutal about. This film doesn't seem to know who it's for. Its humour, its energy, its pacing is so that of a 4-year-old child. It's so sugar rush, it's so screaming and energetic and bouncing off the walls, but then at the same time it's trying to have a discussion about a metaphor for periods and young girls growing into women. There is some Asian-centric themes throughout the movie, but again, I wish there was so much more of it. They give you like a teaspoon's worth of it, and I'm like, oh, this is great. But is there any more of it? No, it's barely even recognised in the movie, and it's so disappointing because that's actually what's interesting. That stuff is really cool. I want to know more. I want to know the rules and the lore of how this thing works with the panda. But instead, we just get 13-year-olds screaming and yelling and being defiant towards their parents, and people are generally speaking unlikable, and actually all we're trying to achieve here is to get tickets to go and see essentially this universe's version of One Direction. And these 13-year-old girls literally are so in love and so sexually aware of these 13-year-old boys that the film consistently sexualizes these 13-year-old boys. They constantly have daydreams about them, topless, and blowing them kisses and drawing them, and it's creepy. It's very, very creepy. There's one moment where I genuinely sort of like pulled back from the screen because of my just sort of like, fucking hell. When they're discussing what they want to do to these fellow 13-year-old boys, one girl genuinely like rubbed herself with giddy excitement. They were talking about how like, oh, I can't imagine what he feels like. And she goes, everything all right, love? All good over there? I don't know what we're doing here. Why are we sexualizing children and encouraging children to be sexual when at the same time we very clearly have the energy and the humor of 4-year-olds? You feel like you're watching a movie that is entertaining you with children rather than watching a movie to entertain the children. It probably says a lot about my age, and it probably says that I'm getting older than I'd like to realise. I have to admit, when I had a shave this morning, I actually found a white beard hair, and maybe this is just a sign of things going downhill for me, I don't know. Yeah, this just didn't hit me right at all. I think the message is messy, complicated, and not a good message necessarily. This thing just rubbed me the wrong way from the get-go. It feels like it's fueled by sugar. I felt like I was just sat there watching children bounce off the walls and scream at me for nearly 2 hours, and I just got, the longer it went on, the more tired and sick of it I got. I didn't really like the story. I certainly didn't really like the characters. People are really, really selfish in this movie, and it's insane. The mother and daughter relationship, oh my god, is that toxic as hell. This mother is not just overbearing. To say she's overbearing would be a compliment. She's literally stalking her own daughter. She is doing everything within her power power to embarrass and belittle her child in front of everyone. She's a Karen. She literally has bits where she's talking about, I'm going to shut this thing down. This is unacceptable. Oh God, she's unlikable. But then the daughter isn't likable either because she's also equally just as selfish. She consistently lets her friends down. She consistently just breaks the rules that her parents set for her. She lies to her parents. And like I say, the motivation is to go to a bloody concert to see a bunch of 14-year-old boys who they all want to have sex with. And it's just like, what are we doing? I don't know what we're doing here. Can we make this stop? They have random sing-alongs in the movie that just come out of absolutely nowhere. They're not asked for. They don't even set them up. They don't suggest it's ever going to happen. It's just like, hey, we've got a problem that we can't resolve, so we'll sing a song. That'll do it. Yep, nailed it. Class problem solving there. I'm going to give Turning Red a 2 out of 10. Some of you might like it. You might need to take my review with a pinch of salt. Recognise that I am a 28-year-old man who this just isn't for. It just isn't for me. I tried, I failed, okay? That's all I can say. I can only give you my honest opinion about the movie. If you think this is going to be something you'd like, give it a 12. See what you think. Come back to me, let me know. If you like it, that's cool too. Personally, I thought this was a complete and utter mess. It tries to deliver a good message, but because of its own childish behaviour, it fumbles the ball way before getting anywhere near the end zone. The only thing I really liked was the animation. Thank you for watching this review. Please be sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. And please be sure to hit the comment section as well. What did you think of Turning Red? Let me know in the comment section below. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next review.